Hi everyone, how are you doing? My name is Marianne. I'm the owner and the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, and what I want to talk about in this video is don't avoid the things you fear. So fear is probably one of the most powerful emotions alongside most people would say anger is powerful. I don't think anger is a powerful emotion because I think anger is a surface emotion. Normally people are feeling sadness, frustration, they're upset. So anger is like an easier emotion for them to express. Fear and love, I'd say, are the two most powerful emotions. That's my opinion. The fear is powerful because it can stop people from doing things. And if something can be a barrier in your way, that means it has more power over you than other things. So what we need to start doing, I'm not saying we need to, but one of the things we need to consider really is, why is fear holding you back in the first place? And there's lots of videos I've made about this, but I just want to kind of break it down just a little bit, just to talk about the idea that lots of the things we fear, we've already come up with the conclusion in our head. We've already decided and made the assumption that the thing we fear is going to happen. So if someone's fearful of breaking up, of their relationship breaking up, they've already had that conversation in their head. If I tell my partner this, then they're not going to love me anymore, and then they're going to not find me attractive, and then they're going to break up with me. Or, you know, maybe you don't want to say to your boss that you feel you should be earning more money, so you don't want to ask for a pay rise. So your fear is, if I ask my boss for a pay rise, then they're going to sack me, and then I'm going to lose my job. Then there's fears about money. Money is a big fear people have. Fear of not having enough, fear of having too much, fear of what people think. That's another big fear as well. I'm worried about what this person thinks. I'm worried about what people on social media are saying. I'm worried about what my family think. It can go on and on and on. So you just have to get to that point really where confront your fears head on. Say to yourself that, you know, if this fear is so powerful in my life, if it's so big in my life, then what is the benefit of me confronting it head on? Why don't I have that conversation? Why don't I, you know, go on that solo trip on my own? I remember, and I'm not gonna, there's so many examples I can give, but I don't want to make it about me, obviously. But before I went on my solo trip for the first time last year, everyone was saying, oh, safety issues. Everyone was saying, oh, why don't you stay in Europe and not go too far? You know, because I went to the Seychelles, which was a 12-hour flight, and it was just me, and I've never been there before, and it'd been 9 years before since I'd travelled. All sorts of things were creeping in. If I'd listened to half of the people that were telling me not to go, I wouldn't have gone. And then a part of me said, well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Even though I was watching these vlogs where people were saying you need to put things behind the door. If you're a solo traveller and a woman, you're going to get harassed. You know, there's a safety issues and stuff. Sometimes you just have to go with it, and then nothing really happened, nothing went wrong. But confront the fear so that you then have power over it, and then it loses its power by the fact that you confront it. You know, I'm not saying to walk around and not have any fears, because that's maybe impossible, same as not having any worries about anything. But I'd say that the majority of people are held back too much. They don't want to have the conversation. They don't want to think about the alternative. You know, instead of going down the rabbit hole or the spiraling thoughts of, if I don't pay my bills for 1 month, I'm going to be homeless. Why not think, you know, I'm really fearful of not having enough money. So what can I do about that? Okay, I can have an emergency fund. I can get another job that pays a bit more. I can reduce my spending. There's always solutions and answers to your fears, but the problem is sometimes people don't want to do those things because then that makes them uncomfortable. So instead it's easier to say, well, okay, I'm just going to keep feeling like this. I'm scared of my relationship ending and breaking up. But rather than me just sitting down with my partner and talking about how I feel, I'd rather just sit there with that fear because I'm worried about what he might say. So your real fear is having the answer sometimes. So I will talk about this more because I find this fascinating, this whole idea of fears. I'm not saying I'm fearless. You know, I watch these documentaries about these people who climb mountains. I'm really into that stuff. I would never do it, but I love watching it because that to me is like fearless, to like do something which could literally kill you, and it does like kill a lot of people. There's so many things that I wouldn't do, but I see that people are doing. But I just think fear is something which we've got to get to grips with. We've got to understand why the fear is there. We've got to understand what we can do about it, and we've got to be self-aware about we're feeding the fear, why we're doing that. So there's more to it, and I'll make more videos about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts though. I really would appreciate any comments, and don't forget to share this with others, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content. Thanks for watching. Bye.